Ladies and gentlemen, this is your favorite ginger, that stiff Robo Ginger, at stiff Robo Ginger, Gary J, or as some people would say, Gary fucking J, and you're listening to Drinking at Moe's.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Drinking at Moe's. Host Big Mo here. I am excited to have with me tonight the stiff Robo Ginger himself, Gary J. How the hell you doing?
I'm pretty good for this. What is it? Tuesday evening? Yeah, it's Tuesday. I'm good, man.
You know, sometimes the weeks and days kind of, they kind of blend together a little bit. I know how it was when I was deployed. There were times where I didn't know when one day ended and the other began.
Yeah, it happens. Oh, well, it is what it is.
But first thing I like to talk with each of my guests is what got you started as a fan, and then what got you started, making the jump into wrestling.
As a fan, man, I had to have been a 10 or 11, and I think I've said this in the past about 699 billion times. I think the first thing I really remember is Macho Man Randy Savage, just seeing his colors and character. And then I realized, like, as I grew into a teenager, I was like, this is really cool. To me, like, I still think it's the best form of art or entertainment with physicality anywhere.
Oh yeah, I would tend to agree. There is just something about seeing people walking through that curtain and watching the crowds just go nuts.
I mean, it's amazing because obviously got into the business and then so on and so forth. Like you don't realize it's like in a certain way, like every professional wrestler. Well, I'll speak for myself solely. I love attention and I love entertaining. So like to be able to control an audience with something I'm doing in the ring, which is mostly physical, is pretty neat. You can tell stories through that, and like it's insane. Like I said, it's the best form of any kind of entertainment ever.
Oh yeah, I agree. There a lot of people that are, I guess, for the lack of a better term, detractors of professional wrestling. They don't get the whole storytelling aspect of it, and it's like when you tell them about that, and then you're like, watch Samoa Joe or somebody, and like watch them, watch what they're doing, tell them their story, and more often than not, I get people that are like, oh, I get what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but to me, like I said, it's been ingrained in my life for 20 plus years.
Oh yeah, no, I remember myself watching guys like my personal favorite tag team, the Road Warriors. First and only time I've ever been on my feet from the moment the music hit to the moment they went back.
Oh yeah, it's the whole experience.
Oh yeah, the whole experience, definitely. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you about tonight was recently you were at ICW No Holds Barred for one of their pit fighter shows. Now that, from what I've seen from, watching a few of those shows before, and I'm actually going to be watching the one you were on a little bit later here. Those, again, an experience in themselves from all the shows that I've been able to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a whole different dynamic because there's no ring, and it's kind of like a bar fight, and like obviously ICW is known for like death matches and everything, but like they sprinkle in different varieties of like professional wrestling, and that's kind of what makes that whole atmosphere unique as well. And like if you're talking about recently myself and Joe Black in Chattanooga last Friday, like the Chattanooga crowd is insane. Like they're so fucking into it and loyal. I love it. Like they're so electric. It's like it's a really cool atmosphere in the TW arena.
Oh yeah, whenever they go there for those that at the TW arena, good lord, those guys really get into it. And those, like you mentioned, ICW No Holds Barred, I actually got introduced to them from a former guest of mine, the SATs. And
Yeah.
when, as you mentioned, they bring in all sorts, like, you know, SATs bring the Lucha Libre and everything, and they got the death match styles and all that. A little bit of something for everybody, if you think about it.
No, absolutely. ICW, and I told Danny this the other day, is like pretty much my second home.
That is awesome. Um, One thing that I realized when watching you were at Billy Starks' show, and good lord, she's accomplishing big things. Is not only can you do, the ICW style of matches, but you can really get in there and, you know, you got the regular style that, Billy Starks' show and all over. Yeah, really.
Yeah, I mean it's just versatile. I've been in the game about 20 years, so you pick up stuff all the time. So it's one of those things where like, did I ever picture myself doing like more like hardcore crazy style shows? No, but it works. It fits the mystique of what Gary J is. But I
Yeah.
can also go in there and tag with Aaron Williams as unsigned and don't care and be probably some of the best fucking tag wrestlers around. It's just
Yes.
being versatile and knowing where you are and being able to play that part on the show, which a lot of people don't understand.
Oh, I totally get you there. It only can help you when you're being adaptable and versatile, getting booked on shows, because they know that whatever they have in store, they know that you're going to be able to deliver.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, to me, that's one of the biggest things is consistency. I've
Oh,
been consistently putting out quality work for a long time now. Not just one or two matches that people, tweet about or, go crazy on their keyboard about. I'm consistently going in there and putting on good matches.
that you are. And one thing when I was doing homework for the episode, that I guess had forgotten about, because when these matches happened, I was still in the Navy. But you have actually been in my area before, like a while back, for a promotion that I actually have ties to, because the guy that at least runs it now was actually the guy that officiated my wedding
Huh.
for Pro Wrestling Phoenix out in, at the time it was in Council Bluffs.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Jason Schreiss thing for a little bit. Like
Yeah, it was
Jason Schreiss, Hype Gotti, uh, Chris.
Havius.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. Donnie Pepper Cricket.
he was my best man.
Oh, awesome. Exactly. Yeah. It's been a while since I've been out that way.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because when I saw it, I was looking up on Cage Match, and I'm like, I saw the logo. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't. And like I said, I was still in the Navy back then, but Chris Havius was the guy that officiated my wedding, and Donnie Pepper Cricket, who like I said, was my best man. He actually introduced me to my wife. So when I was choosing my groomsmen, I'm like, you earned the job.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, like, I forget if, like, because like I said, it's been a while I've been around, but like, I forget I've been a decent amount of places. Like, you said you looked at Cage Match and they have like the little promotion icon.
Yeah.
I think I've seen one of those once for myself. And I'm like, oh man, I guess I have kind of been around.
No, I've definitely had, you know experience, like I said, with you with that promotion when doing homework for different episodes. I'm like, oh dang, I guess I didn't realize they had been there before.
Oh yeah, it's wild. Like, I get hit in the head enough, so CTE's gently set in. It's one of those things where like I've forgotten myself, unless I see it in writing in front of me.
Oh yeah, and another one that I it's more towards well, it is in Des Moines 3XW. They're still going. You actually have been in the ring with one of my other good friends, who I get going by Joey or Joseph Anderson. It was like a while back.
Yeah, I was at 3XW a couple times.
Yeah,
I can't offhand think who I was in there with.
yeah. Like I'd really have to go back on to Cage Match and be like, oh, there's 3X.
Yep.
You know, I'm relatively familiar with those guys and somewhat friendly with them. But one thing I wanted to get to before we really get into my categories I have at the end is the whole nickname Stiff Robo Ginger. Who was the one that ended up giving that to you? Because, when I, the ring announcing at the beginning, I'm like, Stiff Robo Ginger. And then I watch your matches. I'm like, I like it.
I gave myself that nickname. This is right when Twitter started. So years ago, and I needed a Twitter. I had Facebook and MySpace and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
I was watching RoboCop, and I think it was the first one where he's like, my friends call me this, and then basically like RoboCop. I was like, oh, RoboCop. I was like, what about I'm a ginger, and like I guess I was just starting to learn that like I work a strong style, like Americanized strong style.
Yeah.
But like, what if I use Stiff Robo Ginger as a joke? So it's my Twitter handle, and then it kind of just went with it, and it works.
Excuse me, but it definitely works, and I like the stiff strong style. I prefer calling it strong style myself, because stiff kind of has, in some circles, a negative connotation to it.
Don't worry, I've been shit talked and blackballed by all your great vets in the area. I don't give a fuck. Like
that to go about it, as long as you're happy with it and that you're entertaining the people that are in the crowd there.
That's all that matters.
Literally, that is all that matters. But,
exactly.
You definitely entertain me every time that I've been able to see you. One thing one of the last things before my little excuse me, getting over some allergies, but
it's allergy season. It's terrible.
Oh God, I have this thing where like a couple times a year I get it like crazy, and then all of a sudden, when it's seemingly over, I have this cough for like a while after, and it's pain.
Yeah.
But what I was going to get into was, when Cody Rhodes, when he first left WWE, there was that post of his where he had like a wrestling bucket list of like, he wanted to face this person, this person, this person. In a relatively long career that you've had, what would you say is on your wrestling bucket list, if you have one?
As of right now, my goals, I guess, or things like I want to do are go over to the UK, go over to like England and everything, which I'm working on for next year. I want to go to Japan at some point.
That would be sweet.
And then I guess if there was someone who I'd like to actually fight, there's only really one person on that bucket list, Masato Tanaka.
Ooh, that would be a good one. Because, man, the strong American strong style versus Japanese strong style. Ooh, just thinking about it's getting me excited.
Yeah, he's absolutely one of my favorites. So like, it would be not, and he still goes hard. Like I know he does. Like, definitely, he's the last person I really want to get in the ring with.
That would be awesome. And when I was doing my homework, I have these two categories that I like to kind of round things off with. And, one of them's a name game where I name off people that you've shared the ring with in one way or another, whether it be teaming with them or, you know, facing off against them, and you give me your thoughts on them.
Okay.
I've had some fun ones where, you know, like you mentioned with some of the promotions that you've been in throughout your career, you don't necessarily remember, like, holy crap, I did face that person. I've literally had times where they're like, oh, now I remember that one, literally.
Exactly. Yeah.
But first one that came up for this, he's making a splash there in Impact Wrestling right now, Laredo Kid.
Laredo Kid, man, super athletic, gifted.
That is true. And like I said, you know, I've been a fan of his from, good Lord, it has been so long I can't even remember the first time I remember seeing him. But when I do remember when I saw him getting in there with Impact Wrestling, I'm like, that is awesome. You know, them with the national, somewhat limited national TV scale that they have, but still,
Yeah.
TV, national TV is national TV,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
getting to be on that for him, happy for him.
Oh, yeah.
Next one, guy making a splash known as Deathmatch Samurai, guy that I've talked with about hoping to get on the show, Akira.
Akira, I feel Akira's getting where he needs to be. He's good, but he's only going to get better. And ironically, I have never had a wrestling match with him in a ring.
Hmm. Interesting. And like you said, he's getting himself out there, really doing some good things, and the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, agreed.
Next one, a guy that can be kind of, people have their opinion one way or another about him, but you know, he's definitely found his success. Tony Deppen.
Deppen, underutilized, underrated. That dude should be making a shit ton of money.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, he he had his success there in Ring of Honor. He's, you know, doing great things with GCW. Yeah, you know, he definitely is one of those that also, in my opinion, definitely needs to, somebody with a national TV deal needs to sign that guy up.
Yeah, he's super talented.
Definitely. Next and last guy on this list, there is a reason they call him the god of the ship, more so when it comes to deathmatch wrestling, but he can definitely go other ways. Nick fucking Gage.
Uh, Super positive and super motivating. A maniac. Awesome.
Oh yeah, no, that's everything I've ever heard about him. You know, it's like in the ring, he's an intense motherfucker.
Yeah, it's all business.
In all business, but then you get, you know, behind the scenes, he's definitely that motivating, positive guy, because I mean, he makes it no secret he's been through some shit,
No,
but
absolutely. Clearly.
he's bouncing back from it, trying to make a positive out of the negative that he's been through, and he's doing pretty damn good with it.
No, absolutely.
Next category I used to call it a kind of a speed round, but it never went that damn quick. So
Yeah.
I just random question round, because I'm like, you know what, whatever.
Yeah.
Some questions might be wrestling related, some might not be. You just answer how you see fit.
Awesome.
First one, craziest in match moment.
Probably ripping Warhorse's face off.
Ooh. I might have to, what promotion did that one happen in? I might have to that one up.
It's 01 USA. It's on YouTube. Just look up Gary J versus, I believe at the time it was Jake Parnell, Warhorse. Fish hook. Like it's about a 27-minute last man standing match, and yeah, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when it happens.
Okay, I'll have to look that one up. I've definitely met Warhorse a handful of times. Once up in North Dakota, and once out at Warrior Wrestling when they went to St. Louis.
Yeah.
And once out at Revolver out in Des Moines. And god dang, that when you talk about wrestlers that have intensity, that guy almost Ultimate Warrior-esque intensity with the way when he comes through the ring and just
yeah.
But next one, must have road trip supplies.
I always have my gallon of water, and then I like what is it? I can't think of it. Oatmeal cream pies, and then some kind of Monster energy drink, or Rain, or Ghost.
Okay, I've had some of the varieties of Ghost, and I want to say one of the Sour Patch Kid one. That one's pretty tasty.
Yeah, they're all pretty good. I try not to be addicted to them, but I am.
It can be hard, especially on some of those long road trips. And oh man, you bring up oatmeal cream pies. I have to try to watch myself when we have a box here and
oh yeah,
here and that,
they won't pass.
Oh god, I could tear through some of those.
Yeah.
Next question: who would play you in a movie?
Owen Wilson.
Huh. That would be interesting. I've often tried to think about it myself, and I keep on coming up with so many different names. It's like it's kind of interesting sometimes to think about. But last but not least for this category, best advice for anybody getting into wrestling.
The best advice would be like once you learn the basics and once you know the fundamentals, there's really no right, wrong way to do things. As long as it's safe and it works for you, go for it. Don't worry. People are going to shit on you and, tell you how bad you are 100 times over. If this is what you want to do, continue to stay stubborn and just work hard. Like, that's my advice.
Very, very good advice. Anything that's worth doing is worth putting in the effort and the hard work into. So yeah, no, I always tell people when people ask me about enlisting is like, make sure it's what you want to do.
Oh yeah.
And if it is, put in the hard work to get yourself ready before boot camp. Know that there's going to be times that you're going to wonder, what the fuck am I doing?
No, I've been doing it 20 years and I still wonder that. So yeah, I feel you.
I actually just talked with the Bev last night, the guy that won the most recent CZW Tournament of Death, and he mentioned just this last weekend he was saying the same thing to one of the guys he was sharing a locker room with. Like,
yep.
What the? And then, I always say that if you're able to get past that point of wondering what the fuck am I doing, then you got it.
Yeah. It used to be a very love-hate relationship with me in wrestling because you have your ups and downs, but it's clearly it's the love of my life. So there's three things I love in this world: my girlfriend Brittany, my son James, and professional wrestling. They're all about the same, and they know that. That's what's crazy.
No, that is understandable. You hate to make one feel less than, like, with obviously family is important, but you hate to make one part of the family feel less important than the other. So, we keep everybody on the same level.
Yeah, I mean, like those three things have kept me alive and like more than I can count. So like those what keeps me going.
Oh, I totally understand. I know my wife is, God bless her, saved me more times than I can count, especially here recently after we lost our two little girls that were born prematurely. And then, like, I was just getting back to work and got T-boned on my way home from work
Oh
and
wow.
totaled my car. And
Well, I'm
then,
sorry to hear about your that's terrible.
yeah, no, it's part of why I started kind of throwing myself back into the doing the podcast was because, well, October, my wife is part of a paid management staff at a haunted house here in town. So
Yeah.
it's like, she's got that. I got to give myself something. So
Oh,
I
absolutely. Yeah.
I jumped back into it, and oh, shortly, couple weeks after I got T-boned, we ended up losing one of our dogs. So it's like, Jesus. But she has kept me going, kept me, reminded me that I wasn't by myself in all of it. So she, like you
That's
said, with
very
yours, same for me.
yeah, that's awesome. That's good to hear, man.
Yeah. And I started reaching out to people like you. I mentioned the Bev. I actually recently released my episode with former Ring of Honor six-man tag champ Dutch. That was fun. And getting to talk to people in wrestling that I have enjoyed watching has definitely given me something. So, like, I like to help in any way that I can with people in the business that can, maybe, they might already have a ton of eyes on them, but hey, a few more eyes on you can't hurt. So I want to give you a chance to plug some of your social medias. So when I put these in the description, people can get their eyes on you if they don't already have them there.
Oh, I mean, exactly. Wrestling is a community. It's a team effort a lot of times. So I'm right there with you, and I can sit around and talk about wrestling for fucking days and just now it's like bullshit, you know.
Yeah, no, I am with you there.
So yeah,
But
it's awesome.
yeah, but as far as your social medias, where can people find you so they can get an eye on you?
If you want to check out anything I've done professional wrestling wise, just go to my Twitter at Stiff Robo Ginger. My Instagram is unsigned and don't care 85, and then my Facebook is just Gary J. And I guess apparently Hive is a thing, so I might start one of those because I guess Twitter's going away, but it probably won't.
Yeah, I've been curious about that myself because I keep on hearing about it, but then the dates that they say that it might be going away come and go and nothing happens. So it's like, maybe I'll get on that myself, but who knows? But
Yeah,
we'll def-
exactly.
we'll definitely put those in the description and wish you the best of luck in your upcoming shows. And once again, thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. I know you got a busy schedule. We had a bit of a time crunch that we had to fit in, but you know what? I got to talk to you, and I had fun.
No, it's all matters. I'm glad we got to talk, man. And don't hesitate to ask me back on at some point down the road, man. Like I'm all about it.
Oh, definitely. I'd love to have you on again anytime.
Hell yeah.